So I said, no, I feel comfortable. I'm going to apply. So I applied on Monday knowing that I put on there that I had passed the test. I put it on there as if I were certified, but then I wrote pending ... So I emailed my boss. I said, I just applied for the position. Here's a copy of my resume in case you need it. That week, I got paid, and I logged into the bank website to make sure I got paid, and it was about $100 less than I usually make. Started to investigate. 5 years with this company, they've never made a mistake in my pay, but they made a mistake in my pay. Here's this test, and the test is paid for, but still, it's just the pressure is mounting. I have less money this week now for 2 weeks, and anyway, the day of the test, the night before, I put my phone on silent. I didn't want anyone to bother my sleep or anything. I wasn't nervous yet. I was able to sleep in. My boss knew that was the day I was going to take the test. So Mom, I usually leave before her, but she left first. She prayed for my mind in the morning. She left. I wake up. I'm feeling good. I'm taking my time. I'm getting ready. And it was cold in the house. The weather here is just all over the place. So I checked my phone wanting to look at the weather so I'd know how to dress. And there is a text from my cousin telling me that a close friend of ours is dead. And at first I thought, I'm just not going to think about it. It's okay. I got this. I'll just deal with this later. And I poured myself a cup of coffee and I lost it. So, the day of the test, this is what is in my mind, and I'm between okay and I'm excited and oh my God, and his wife is pregnant and they have an 8-year-old. She's all alone now. So, I went, and because of the sadness, I think I took a little bit longer getting ready than I should have, and I'm looking at the clock, and I was supposed to have all this time, and I told everyone my plan is to get to the testing center really early and park and study in the car, and I can't even tell you where the time went, and suddenly I'm there, and I can't find the building, and I'm walking around looking for the building where the test is. I was so sure that I knew where the building was, and it was across the street, and I'm in the street thinking, do I run? Do I get back in the car? There's all this traffic. It's Abercorn. I'm going to jog across Abercorn. And I said, no, I need to move the car. So I get back. You're supposed to be there 15 minutes early because they have to sign you in. So I jump in the car. I'm like, what is the matter with me? Get in the car, cross the street, get in the building, and this building is 2 stories. And you can see in the lobby, there's like a balcony, so you can see all the offices on the ground floor and all the offices on the second floor, and it's nothing but offices. This is like 50 offices in this one building, and I'm looking at the clock and I'm looking around, and there's this crazy woman saying, "Are you here for a pee test?" And I said, "No, I'm not." And she wouldn't leave me alone, and I had to call the girl, and I only had the girl's number because she canceled the test in the first place and told me to call her back. So I dialed the number and I call her, and I said, "I'm in the building." "Oh, we're upstairs." I'm like, I tell myself to calm down and take a breath, and I climb the steps. The lady is still after me, trying to give me a piece. I'm not here for that. Finally, I find the office, and the woman couldn't be more at ease. She's typing, and I'm thinking I'm late, and you had to show 2 forms of ID. They took my picture. they analyzed my signature. That's when I started to get nervous. I was like, what am I doing here? So, I took the test. The techs were all very supportive of me. They all gave me pointers, and the majority of my studying, because there's two ways you can study for a technical exam. You can take a class and understand the concepts behind what you're learning, or you can cram and just take test questions over and over and over again. And so everyone told me that the latter would be, that's what they did. And it's not good for long term, but you'll remember it because you've seen the questions over and over again. Well, I get there, the hardest questions were first, and there's a camera on you the whole time. They've taken your purse from you, and it was cold in the room, and the hardest test, the hardest questions, it took me about 15 minutes, and then they start with multiple choice, and these were not the questions that I studied. They were all worded differently. And there were 75 questions, and I'm probably on number 25, and I'm like, I'm going to fail this. I don't know what I'm doing here. But I continued. I tried to, and they told me, if you come to one you don't know, skip it. You can do it later. And I'm hearing that voice in my head, and I can't. I'm just rereading it until it makes sense. And I'm like, Sasha, you're not supposed to do this. But I didn't skip any of them. I did them all. I flagged some of them to look back at them when I was done. And finally, the counter is running down. You only have like 20 minutes left. And then I think I was really, really done. I had reviewed everything. I think I had 12 minutes left. And then it keeps asking you, are you sure? Are you sure? And I'm getting upset because, it's good that they're warning you because you cannot go back and change answers after you're done. And I'm just like, yes! And then there's a screen and it says Sasha McBrayer and it had my score. And I just remember thinking, oh my God, that's my score? I'm so embarrassed. And then it says you passed. I had to read that a couple of times. So I took the test. I passed. I posted it on Facebook because I had quite a ride to go back to work, and I told everyone I would go into work. And I was kind of torn. My cousin was with our friend that just lost her husband, and I probably could have called in and said, I've had a death, I'm not coming to work today. But something, I had applied for the job on Monday, had not heard a word. It was really spooky. Nothing, no thank you, no I got it, just silence. And I said, I feel like I need to go to work. So I went to work, and it was just joy. I could not have anticipated. I kept telling myself, you've told too many people. Mm-hmm. If you fail, everyone here is going to know. I should have kept it a secret. It was just congratulations and how excited everyone was for me, and they knew I could do it. And finally my boss and the technical manager, who would be my new manager, come out to greet me, and my boss shakes my hand, and he was under the impression I had taken an easier test. What? There's a lot of them take one first and then attempt the one I took, and then there's another one. And the technical manager smiled at him and said, no, she took the middle one, which trumps the bottom one. And he just said, holy cow! And I can remember my uncle Frank worked many years in a technical field, and he said, people that do this every day fail the test. You've never put your hands on it, you've never done it, and you pass. And and I was worried when I realized that tonight would be my testimony, that it would be all about me. I passed the test and I'm so smart. And I didn't do it. I mean, really? I mean, it wasn't me. It really wasn't. But this whole thing has just been, I knew the Holy Spirit was behind it, and I just had to act that way, that He had it under control. And if it didn't work out, I obeyed. I did what I thought He was telling me to do. No loss, really. I still have a great job. But I don't know if I need to read any of that. But I don't know that the technical manager was supposed to tell me, but he told me the day that I passed the test, you're going to get the job. They're going to offer it to you on Monday. Amen. So, and I think I'm in.
When you moved into the building and you had someone to operate all those cameras?
That, again, the whole thing has been a setup. It's just been training, preparation for, we have a new building where I work, and it's gorgeous, and it's about, I want to say about 60,000 square feet. It's big, and it's kind of like a maze, and there's a big lobby, and it echoes in there, and then if you entered the building, you would look at this big lobby, and then you see a roll-up window that's about 6 feet, about 5 feet by 6 feet, and I'm on the other side of it in this little office. And I had heard for months and months that that's where they were going to put me because of my customer service. My boss likes me to be the first person you see because your first impression just paints the whole, experience. So, and I agree with that. I agreed with that. But also in this office is all of the security equipment. There's 20 cameras around the building, and they all feed into my office. In addition to that, it's kind of like working for the CIA. Each door has a badge reader, and you physically cannot get in the door unless you scan your badge. So the computer that makes the badge and the computer that controls which doors unlock when, it's all very complex, is in my office.